Hey there guys, what's up? Jeremy here, Consciousness Awake. Welcome back to the channel. Sending you positive energy and love like always. I'm going to get some dragon's blood incense going here. It's one of my favorite incense is the dragon's blood. I have noticed that I've also read some stuff online and also from my own experiences. Dragon's blood, for whatever reason, it's really good astral projection incense, and I've always noticed how I was kind of able to get more into that, like, body paralysis kind of state, entering into the vibrational state when getting out of body. And I've made an interesting correlation between dragon's blood and doing it, so it's like, yeah, it's weird. But it's probably just, coincidence. So I'm going to put this over here. Get this out of the way. Actually, I'm going to put it out. Just wanted to turn it on for a sec there. So in this video, I want to talk about the mental planes. My perspective on the mental planes, experiences in what we would consider mental planes, and how the mental planes kind of blend in to the upper astral planes. From my perspective and experiences and from things I've researched and all of that stuff, I've come to the conclusion that the mental planes have their own planes within themselves, just like how the astral planes have their own planes. But the lower part of the mental planes kind of infuses or trickles down into the upper part of the astral planes, because there's been a lot of reality constructs which were definitely in the astral planes that were very similar to some of the reality constructs in the lower or the first part of the mental planes. Way too similar, So let me go through some experiences and things I've noticed about that high up astral and getting into the mental plane range. When you're there, first of all, when you're there, it treats everyone completely equally. There's very little duality, or very, if any duality. There's like almost nothing. Everyone just respects each other on a spiritual level through consciousness. Definitely, consciousness is very evolved, but just because there's certain beings that are centered in those particular mental planes currently, doesn't mean that they weren't human at some point, or part of some other planes, other realities with previous experiences. So the beings that are just in that area of what we call the mental plane, they are just centered there, they're focused there. They went through a lot of reincarnational loops. They figured out how to work on themselves. See, this is the other thing too, is when you're into that really high astral realm, a little higher up than some of the access to Akashic records. Akashic records, from what I understand and from my own experience, is kind of in the middle of the astral plane range, mid-range. But it's still kind of a little on the higher side, because because when you're going to your Akashic records, you're essentially accessing all that data and information with your consciousness and how you are interacting with the ability of how your consciousness can operate in that type of dimension or plane. Okay, so the mental planes, it's thought form. Having control of your emotions and your thoughts is super important, and not infringing on other beings' free will, super important. But people don't do that there. See, there's no reason. There's they govern themselves in a way. These beings govern themselves. There's also a lot of spirit guides that also reside in the mental plane that come down temporarily or whenever they're called on, whenever they have to, down through the astrals and etheric and down to this physical plane, physicality we're in now with the human body. So there's spirit guides coming down, going back and forth. There's beings there that just live in blissful harmony, love frequency, love energy. Everyone's treated the same. It's almost like they're all just like godlike. They're all godlike, like independent gods, just coalescing together in a natural rhythmic flow, without much of any duality or arguments or anything like that. So that's kind of the vibe, when you get into those higher astral planes or into that beginning part of the mental planes. I've never gone past that point in all my astral projections since I was a teenager, at least not consciously aware or no actual memory or anything of really going past that certain level, but at least I kind of got like a little taste of what it's like to be consciousness, a being that's in that kind of realm, and it's kind of hard to get there because when you get out of your human body in a fully conscious and aware out-of-body experience from the get-go, you literally have to work your way through the etheric plane, through the astral planes, and you have to actually go up to these higher levels. So when you do get up there, you do get a lot of self-acknowledgements, and it's just obvious. Now sometimes a person might be going into an astral projection while their body is sleeping, but they're not totally consciously aware that they're actually astrally projecting, and then they might come to or become aware, their consciousness wakes up when they're already on some particular astral plane or whatever, and then they're just kind of like navigating from that point on, because that's when their consciousness is actually fully integrated and aware while in that astral body. I hope that made sense. Any questions so far, leave them in the comments, please, and I'll respond to you really quickly. So let's talk some more about the mental planes. Let me get my whiteboard, and just to kind of like help you with like a visualization of what I'm trying to talk about. This is not a full representation of exactly how I have my own dimensional theory, like in my own perspective. There's some stuff missing on this, but this is just kind of a simple form of it. So let me grab my pen real quick. Let me get this right there. Perfect. So physical plane, right? The bottom's physical plane, etheric plane cutting across here, right? Then the first lower level of the astral planes. Mid-range of astral planes, that's where you get into more Akashic records areas by like the fifth plane, and into this upper part of the sixth and seventh planes of the astral realm. Akashic record access, consciousness can integrate just operate in that way where it can access all of that data and information much more easily than down here in the etheric or in the physical body. Also, another cool thing is once you get up to like the upper astral and into the beginning stages of the mental planes, your consciousness has basically has access also to all your past life memories, where past life memories will come to you, and you'll also have visions and memories of past lives where you messed up and did something horrible and something really bad. But but then you see like the next life or two, next life experience where you balance that out. You balance the karma, you know. And so I think that's really interesting. So you just have access to all of that information as consciousness operates in upper planes and getting into mental planes. Now, when you're now see this here, this word I put on here, elements, and you see this like kind of a upside down triangle coming down where it narrows down here, going down to the bottom to the physical plane. So this is what I'm trying to depict, how the stuff in the mental plane, how the stuff in the mental plane, the elements of mental plane, like love and blissfulness, and caring for others, and non-duality, and no egos, and all those kinds of things. All of that stuff, those are innate elements of how consciousness just operates in that dimension. All of those have a trickle-down effect that comes down, it trickles down into the astral planes, etheric, down to physicality, all the different reality constructs and all the different timelines and all kinds of stuff is going on all around us. But all of that just trickles down. So as it trickles down and narrows down to physicality, there's still people who are obviously experiencing love and bliss and positivities and all those things, but since there's more and more duality as you go down the planes into higher density, or the thicker, higher density of matter, you just naturally are. It's just harder to live every moment. Every conscious moment is hard to live in that blissful state here. You can sometimes, but sometimes you can't, right? But when you are in that upper part of the astral going into the mental, you are just living in that type of constant state of mind, and it's really interesting. Very interesting. Look, we're all down here. We're all re-remembering and relearning and doing this, doing that, and again, the goal of this channel of Consciousness Awake is to get consciousness back to these higher astral planes and mental planes, and live our true potential as what consciousness can do. But it all starts with just acknowledging it and talking about it and putting some mental focus on it, mental energy on it, some rituals and meditations and practices and things to do while you're here in this human body. But we can still work on that spiritual growth process and get consciousness back there. And then of course many other certain religions and magical orders, and just a lot of people believe that there's a whole spiritual realm, whole other spiritual dimension that's beyond those mental planes. And I do believe that. I've mentioned before, I think in this video or in another video, where I've never had that I'm aware of. I've never had OBs in something I would consider like a spiritual realm. I could be mistaken. I could be mixing up some memories with something else. I don't know, but I'm almost certain I've only gone into that first tier, or that first plane that would be considered officially kind of more into the mental planes. I'm most certain. And that's maybe something I should work on as a personal goal, is to continue to try to get into those spiritual realms. All right, anyways, you guys have a wonderful day. Just want to talk about mental planes a little bit and explain how that all, my perspective and all that kind of stuff. I appreciate you watching the video. Hit like, share, subscribe if you haven't already. And I wish you guys a wonderful, wonderful day. Sending you nothing but love and positive energy, always.